And welcome back to Open Your Eyes, and we're moving on now into our second conversation for the morning. Children First and Last Belize, CFAL Belize, and what we're about to get from them is actually an introduction and promote child abuse prevention at a seminar. Now in with us we've got Sharon Walker, who is a member of CFAL or CFAL Belize, and Pat Lam, who is the secretary of CFAL Belize. It's so nice to see you guys. Good morning.
Good
You're
morning.
looking wonderful today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us too.
Now,
Good morning.
I'm sure I've heard of CFAL, but just for folks to understand what it is, let's jump on into an introduction to it. What is CFAL?
Okay. CFAL Belize is a small core of volunteers. We are now 7 members strong. And CFAL Belize focuses on 2 aspects: education and healthcare for our kids. We have been doing things very quietly in the background in Belize City, and we have been towards those ends, have been helping our kids, where we have been providing scholarships, primary school as well as high school. We have been assisting or in complementing what some of the schools or organizations have been doing, what their needs are, providing funds for some classrooms, funds for pediatric cancer, for the Pediatric Cancer Fund, working in conjunction with the Cancer Society. So in these areas, as well as providing where possible things that can assist in terms of feeding programs for organizations as well that works with kids.
What's your motivation behind getting the organization started and promoting this type of work?
Just finding out that there was so much need. The core of the club actually spin-offed from Kiwanis. Kiwanis was here some years ago. We couldn't really sustain it because of the international connection and what we needed to accomplish. And when we could no longer do that, and because there was still such a need and we started to help, a small core decided, listen, let's do something on our own. Let's form a little group, and along these lines, let's continue to work and focus on kids. So that was the motivation behind us starting. And because we are local, we could basically do what we want within the realms of making sure that we complied. If we needed to assist from an educational standpoint, we liaise with whatever organization. But we don't and did not want to reinvent the wheel. We wanted to work with any existing educational institution or organization in assisting and or complementing what was already being done.
Okay, and you know, which leads me now to Sharon Walker, who is a member.
That's
now,
right.
What inspired you to want to take up membership of CFAL?
Well, I was asked to participate in one of the projects that they were involved in, and of course I wanted to know more about the organization. I obviously don't live here, I live abroad, and once I found out about CFAL, and there's such an amazing group of people. It's such a small group, but yet they've been able to accomplish so much, and they have such a heart for education and for children and for health and the things that they want to do. And I couldn't resist, but I just jumped in and helped with the project, and one project led to another project. And I'm so appreciative of just having the opportunity to be a part of such an amazing group.
Now, Pat, you mentioned, I think, one of the critical issues. There are a lot of NGOs out there working. We hear of them quite often. CFAL has decided, I remember when you were getting the group started, that was about the last time we heard from you, but you chose to do things to work along with schools or provide supplies or services behind the scenes. And you know, we don't see that as often anymore. Why was that a core part of how you chose to move forward?
We didn't set out to do it that way. It just happened by chance because we're small and everyone is always so busy.
Yeah.
And as the secretary, I am responsible to put things out and to do certain promotions. And as I said, we're all busy. So it's been, whenever something came up, then we have tried to get on the different news shows and put out something there, maybe a little bits and pieces in the newspaper. We set up a Facebook page, and again, not being very vocal out there. We decided that, and recently we need to let people know what we're doing. Yes, we won't be able to be there every single time, but at least a little bit more. We need to have people aware of the things that we do, because it is from this type of exposure and their awareness that we will be able to get more assistance
And
to
get the
do
support.
more
Yeah.
of what we want to do.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you guys affording us opportunity to, let people know who CFAL is, who the group is, and what we're trying to do. Because I'm pretty sure that you have some viewers who are looking at this right now who are thinking, oh, maybe I can, assist in some way.
Yeah.
And so we would appeal to them to get in touch with CFAL and, reach out to us. And we would love to hear from you.
Which brings me again to, it says here, established in November 2013. I'll tell you this much. Children are dear to us.
Absolutely.
They must be first and they must be last. They should
Absolutely.
be at the top, and you should always have them following behind as well. So let's talk about some of the projects that have been done and how people can get engaged with these projects.
Okay. The projects that we have done to date has been Raffle for a Lot. And that project was geared at the Pediatric Cancer Fund because having worked with the Belize Cancer Society over the years, we realized and have sat in meetings with the society where alarmingly there was a lot of kids getting cancer and funds were limited.
Yeah.
Right? And we decided, because of this particular issue and what we are about, therefore it just made sense for that particular project be geared towards the Pediatric Cancer Fund. So Belize Cancer Society was on board with that full-fledged from the get-go all the way through. One of our other projects was actually our very first project getting the club started was with Water Walkers on Albert Street with Miss Julie, right?
Which is an after-school program.
Yes, which is an after-school program. She also feeds the kids.
Yeah.
She heard about us right after we started and approached the club through our president, Mr. Paulicki. And we got together. She submitted a proposal and we sat down and we looked at the viability of it to see if it was something that we were able to do. And this is how we select our projects. People hear about the club from people that they taught word of mouth and approach one of the members, and we always ask for them to send something in writing so that as a club we sit down and we look at the project and see if it is something that is in our capability. If we see that it is good and maybe we are not capable of a club of doing it, we try to see which organization can provide that service or that assistance with CFAL as the link.
Yeah.
Right.
And this leads me into your upcoming seminar, which, I have to say kudos to you, because this is tackling an issue that is a huge problem in this country, but we just don't talk about it enough. I wish we'd talk about child abuse the way we talk about ICJ, because we would be saving so many lives, not physically, but just emotionally, the scarring that it leaves. So you've decided to put together a child abuse prevention seminar. Where did this come from?
This actually came from Dr. Flores Carter.
Yeah.
I have been in communication with her over the years. We're related. And she is heavily into social work in the US.
Yeah.
And she keeps looking at the news, listening to the news. And on one of my visits there, we were talking. And I said, when you come back to Belize, I would really want you to do something the club that I'm involved with focuses on kids, healthcare and education. And if we can do something, if you can do something for us, have a little talk, something that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
We were earlier this year trying to determine what would be a good project to do, and that hit us. Why don't we take this on? Right? So the club was excited, and we got on the phone, called up Kendra, let her know that we would be running with this, we'll spearhead it. Trying to find other people to get involved that can talk from a standpoint of knowledge. We got a link with Dr. West from KHMH. She's with the pediatric ward of KHMH, so she sees what comes in. And who else to put into this lineup than CEO Alpuche, right? She is very knowledgeable, a wealth of knowledge with all her years there in the social human development.
Social work experience.
So who else to put with these? And look at it, it's all ladies. The club is excited. The club is excited about this project. We do realize that it's a little ways, but we want to start to promote,
build
to plan. So we are. The planning is still being done, but the lineup is there. We have gotten the venue already, and we will be out there promoting this seminar, trying to get more sponsors on board, because what we want to have a full house. We do want to have a full house. It is a topic that is critical in every angle, every atmosphere of it. It is critical. And we feel that, as you said, that it needs to be talked about more. People need to be aware. They need to know what the signs are to look for, how to go about it. Right? So we are excited.
And it's in July, so we should let people know that before they start trying to put the date on their calendar. But one of the things that stood out to me was the theme that you have, and that's because that's where we get stuck. We hear these terrible stories of atrocities taking place in our country to children, and we feel helpless. The damage, for all intents and purposes, already done. You never know when it's taking place until it comes to the limelight. But what your seminar is based on is helping people to make a difference. You want people who perhaps have not had any exposure in this issue to figure out their role in how we can change this. How do you plan on what are your thoughts in being able to accomplish this?
Another part of what CFAL is all about is providing education, which is what the seminar is really about. And so we have like two parts to the group. We want to focus on education as well as health. And so some of the things that we were talking about, even with me being abroad, I still participate in their meetings and whatnot.
Oh, that's excellent.
Absolutely. And just to tell a little bit about my background, I'm in education. I've been a teacher for about 20 years, in education for about 20 years. I've taught K through 12. I am now an instructional lead teacher with the county that I work for, the district that I work for. And what that means is I'm office-based. I'm no longer school-based. I work out of the central office. And I provide support to 6 schools. And I work with these schools. I provide professional development. I work with the teachers. I mentor teachers. I give direct instruction sometimes to some kids in the areas of my specialty, which is teaching second language learners. And so part of the education part of CFAL is talking to some teachers here. We've had an opportunity to do that, talk with some administrators, and just to find how we can assist in what they're trying to do. So it's really all about, the whole club is really about educating, educating people in terms of health, in terms of instruction, education for our children, because that's our main focus, the children of Belize.
There are many people who would, with your expertise as well, of course, it's so nice to have her in, but there are a lot of people who would want to be a part of this club as well, who would want to be a part of this group. How can they do that?
Contacting any of the club members. There is myself at Radisson, Dr. Rosado. There's Paul Licky. I mean, almost all of Belize knows Paul.
Yes.
We have Sherry Gabriel, she is with Yellow. And we also have our Facebook page, Facebook at CFAL Belize. And it's through any of these points of contact, they can reach out to anyone and ask about membership. If you are interested in being a member, you really have to be committed. You really have to be civic-minded, and we give you an application form to fill out. We get that back and we vet that, right? So it's not just anyone who says, I want to be a member, then we say, oh yes. That we do have an application and a process that we follow, and if you're accepted, you are given an acceptance letter. We welcome you to the club, and you are a part of the team.
Wow.
Doing amazing things for Belizean children.
Of course, of course.
And because it takes such a time commitment to be able to assist in the work of the organization. And I think a lot of times when people join groups, they don't always know that's involved. So it's good to know that you have your own screening process. But going back to the seminar, what is your hope? You're formalizing everything at this point in time. But what do you want people who go to the seminar to walk away with?
We want them, or we are hoping that when each and every person walks away from that seminar, they are more in tune in terms of what it is that they need to look for. What are some of the little telltale signs? Because we know a lot of kids will not come out openly and tell you what is going on. You have to look, you have to know how to ask different questions, how to talk to them. Sometimes you don't even need to ask a question, but just by the conversation, you'll be able to get some answers to what you're hoping to get. And we are also hoping that from that, you're able to look at the signs, find out what is going on, and then take some action in terms of who it is I need to call, who do I need to speak to, where do I need to go from there, what's my follow-up, right? Because sometimes we tend to put things out there, but there's no follow-up to see that, okay, something is actually being done. This person is getting some help with what is going on.
Wow.
Is it going to be open to the public?
It is going to be open to the public. There will be a small fee to it. We haven't determined that yet. As I said, we're still planning and putting some things together, but it is very much going to be open to the public.
And specifically to persons working in education and healthcare, or the general public?
Persons working in education and healthcare. We are also hoping that there will be some parents involved as well. And anyone else who feels that they can make a difference. We would want them there.
All right. Well, sounds good.
How do people get in touch with you? Facebook?
Facebook at CFAL Belize. And the CFAL phone is 662-0611. We have a cell phone for that. And Radisson, my email address, or they can just call me at the Radisson.
Okay.
Right.
Ask for Miss Pat.
And ask for Pat.
Well, ladies, best of luck on this initiative.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure that you have been doing and will continue to do great work. And we're definitely looking forward to talking about this further as the date approaches. It's on July
the 10th.
Okay.
At 8:30 p.m. at the Radisson Fort George.
Excellent.
Great. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you too for having us.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by representatives of the Ariel Rosado Foundation. So stay tuned.